Oh, good call. Rachel, can you hear us online now?
No.
Like 3 times.
Yeah.
Not 3 times on the seal invitation.
But she's trying to confer a piece or
Hey, Rachel, can you hear us?
Yes, I can now.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, good, thank you.
But you can't see us. Can you see us?
Yes, I can.
I'm sorry, was that? Lisa, can you hear us?
Yes.
Can you see us?
Yes.
Okay, great.
No, but I think, can you see the room now?
I'm really not terrible.
Lisa, do you see the room of folks?
Yeah, I
Yes,
see
yes.
I see 3 different panels and it kind of keeps zooming in and zooming out.
All right, we're all good.
Okay, can we start?
Yep.
Okay, good evening and welcome everyone to the April 2026 Executive Committee. I'm Leslie Murphy, Chair of CB4, and I'm pleased to call this meeting to order. Our hybrid policy is posted on our website. Board members are expected to attend meetings in person unless they have a disability or extraordinary circumstance. Committee members with excused absences and members of the public may still participate virtually. Board members who are joining via Zoom must leave their cameras on. We encourage members of the public to join virtually. Meanwhile, this meeting is being streamed live on our YouTube channel and a transcript is being recorded. The meeting will live on our YouTube channel also and is accessible to the public. So thank you, everyone. I guess we'll get right into it. Our first agenda item is a presentation for an application to the Street Activities Permit Office for Infirnity Community Art Day, which is on May 5th, 2026 on West 41st Street. And, sorry,
May 9.
I have May 5th.
Yeah, no, that was wrong. That was incorrect there. I essentially revised agenda. It's May 9th.
May 9th. Okay, thank you. May 9th. Lisa, you said you could hear us, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Lisa, do you mind just giving a second, just an explanation for the folks in the room, just because over on exec committee, I know this is not something we normally review. Normally, Transportation Planning Committee reviews these items. What happened here is a couple of different things. One, Infirnity is an event that happens every year. That's a recurring event. They're holding a new event. There's a new event that closes down the street. We have it come before the community. This event was categorized by SAPO in a different way because it was not doing its normal procedures of having vendors and all those types of things. Lisa will explain what exactly that they're doing that day. And so therefore I didn't catch it. And so normally with these events, the street events are usually like lane closures, sidewalk closures, nothing I'm going to try to spend you guys your hours trying to review. So that's what fell through the cracks. So we caught this one. It's going to be happening clearly before next TPC meeting. That's why it's happening. The second one was just purely just a snafu through the SACO system that I missed. So that's why they're both on there too. Lisa, go ahead. And at least is anybody else that's joining from your team that I need to bring over?
Oh, no, just me.
Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys. I don't know if you typically have like a presentation with a PowerPoint. Life has been lifing. I don't have a PowerPoint, just myself, and I hope that's okay. I am the executive director of Infirnity, which is a local resident-led nonprofit rooted in the Elliott Chelsea NYCHA community. And what we do is create pathways of joy and access for the residents to step into leadership and visionary work within Chelsea. An example of one of the things that was really beautiful is that we are building connections with neighborhood organizations, such as Neighbor, which is a community space and Chelsea gallery, and a resident from Elliott Chelsea, who's also a mother of 10, has a solo exhibit in this Chelsea gallery. And it's right on 21st, I guess that's 9th Avenue. I think it's 176 9th Avenue. Maria's vision, the artist, when she had access to this gallery and we were working together, she was like, you live right in this hub of arts, right? Chelsea's a huge hub for the arts, and you're an artist in your own home, you're an artist in your life, but there are barriers to be able to share that art in different ways when you're surrounded by galleries. And so she had this idea of like, what if we had some sort of event where we got all these residents that are artists to have a place to showcase their work or to be engaged and honored and celebrated as artists in Chelsea. And I thought that was amazing. I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. At the same time, we had another resident who has a nonprofit specialized for women who are domestic violence survivors. And she was like, you know what, I really just want to connect with the community more. And I really want a community art day where, through creation and through art, we gather and connect. But it's also a way for organizations to outreach and kind of share who they are with the community without kind of like putting it down their throat. And I was like, okay. And so when we were working together, we kind of merged these two ideas to form our very first community art day, which will be on May 9th on West 21st Street between 8th and 9th Avenue. On that day from 12 to 5 p.m., the street will be closed off, and there's two kind of things happening. One is that we've outreached as best we could to get people who are from Chelsea that either have a passion or a love for art or identify as visual or performing artists. And they will each have a station where they have created an interactive art activity where the community can engage in an art form with them. There'll be painting. There will be hopefully someone's going through with some sculpting, like with some sculpt clay. There's collage making, and these are all from residents right here in Chelsea creating for the neighborhood that they're from. On the other hand, we have about 7 different organizations that'll be coming and tabling at the event. Those organizations are New Victory Theater, The Shed, the American Mime Theater, which I'm super excited about, and a few others. But just to showcase that right here in Chelsea, we have these performing arts and visual arts programs. The Tada Youth Theater program is going to be there. And let's just make sure that the community knows that these exist and engage with people that work there, but then also learn about possible events or programs or ticketing options. Um, Simultaneously, we'll have a nice small open mic setup where a few residents have signed up to either play an instrument or to sing. And then a few of the organizations are having a workshop. So, like, I know that the Tada program is going to do a 30-minute workshop for people of all ages. There's one more thing happening on that day. We are collaborating with the Fulton Center through the seniors. They have a robust art program over there. And so the seniors are going to have a section where a barrier in that area right now is that they've lost funding for arts programs. So a lot of their arts activities have been cut. And so we're actually paying for 1 to 2 instructors to host like a senior table where the seniors will have an additional art workshop, as well as a table where they're going to be presenting their art that they've made at the Fulton Center thus far. And so, really, the mission of the day is kind of rooted in the vision of our organization that there's really unique and creative ways to get neighbors of all different backgrounds in Chelsea together. And in this scope, it's under the framework of art. So, how can we have people come together, recognize each other as artists, appreciate each other as artists, but then also my favorite part is do together, right? How can we make sure that the community is actually creating with one another and the neighborhood is making it possible? So that's it.
That sounds really awesome. I have 1 or 2 questions to make sure that the event is successful. So
Yes.
first of all, are you going to leave a 15-foot lane for emergency vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. The sound is a concern. I think if you do anything with amplified sound, it should be at most 1 hour.
Okay. I appreciate that. I This is like we have a what Jesse was referring to. We have an annual street like single block festival, and that's where like the DJ is bumping, right? That's a festival vibe. This is very different. People actually have to listen to instruction like while they're at these tables to do the art. And so the DJ is really there to facilitate kind of like low mellow music throughout the event. And then also more just to be a platform so that people can sing. Like we have a few vocalists that are neighbors to the community that just want a chance to sing. So it will be minimal in terms of like it won't be music bumping, if that makes sense. It's kind of like background.
It's any music in the street is an issue. So it has been an issue in the past. We have had issues with that in the past, so I'm just sharing with you that if it was a normal approval, if there is more than 1 hour, we probably wouldn't approve it. Okay, so that's what we have done in the past. Have you gotten all the neighbors on that block to kind of sign off that they are excited about that, or is there a block association?
This is my first time ever doing this, so like I kind of got luck of the draw to even talk to you guys today, so that I did not take that step. I'm gonna be really honest and frank. I can, in the meantime, maybe I can make some flyers and put it on the doors to let them know that this event is coming. Is that something that would happen or
That
would
would be
be?
a good idea, so that,
Hey, Lisa, I think Jesse from our office sent you a checklist.
On the past.
And
We,
do you
Lisa,
still-
we can send you it again, Lisa.
Right.
We,
Just so you have, what you know, what kind of what you could check off to do as far as procedural.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
so these are the main things, you know, and are you talking to the NYPD?
Yes, yeah, we spoke to them at the very beginning when we were doing this about 3 months ago, putting in for the permit. Yeah, so like we were working on this a long time ago. I didn't know this was an extra step.
Okay, but I mean, what I just told you is important.
Yeah, I received that.
so Lisa, yeah, and I know NYPD signed off on the application already, and so, you are doing amplified sound, so you're having to get an amplified sound permit from them, is that correct?
Yeah, they always tell me to just come like a day or two before. That's how that they usually work with me.
But the amplified sound generally, when we do new events, we try not to do it.
No, you try to, no, I understand, I just want to make sure that they knew that they knew
Yes.
that was still required of them to do that process. So we can send you the list, I mean, I guess I assumed Infirnity had it because you guys have your annual event and you do that all again, so I assume you were using that same list, but I can resend you the list and make sure you have it. So you're letting them.
Thank you.
But I think, not making sure Miguel from Fulton Houses knows obviously is also clear, and then I think the bigger organization that you need to make sure you knows is the Council of Chelsea Block Associations, which
Yeah.
if you have our list from previous, then they're certainly on it, and you can reach out to them ASAP. And in speaking of that, I believe the currently vice president of the Council of Chelsea Block Association, with their hand up in the attendees section.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, once they want to talk. Once we're.
Okay.
Yeah, they do wanna talk for older business.
What?
They wanna mention something for older.
Oh, yeah, but
Yeah,
so
but
they have
don't
that
need
on
this,
now.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying, I think she's looking to speak on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but if anyone, if anyone else I'm sorry?
No, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Beautiful.
Anyone else have any comment before we go to the public? Or-
Sounds fantastic. I've met Lisa before. She's wonderful and incredibly like conscientious and of the work she does. So it's I mean, obviously, you know, I think I understand you're gonna have a DJ. Yeah, we do typically try to limit it to 1 hour when we have amplified sound. But if it's really background music, and just really be conscious of that and try to keep the volume down. I mean, I don't think we're gonna be blocking this thing, so let's
No, I mean,
Yeah,
it should.
so
no,
we're
it
just
should
giving
be-
her-
Just knowing guidelines.
yeah,
It's just
that's
knowing-
our general principles.
And that, I'm sorry, just for my sake, typically when this comes up, an hour for when you say amplified sound, you mean music or you mean
Anything with an amplified, like with a microphone or.
Right,
limited to an hour?
right, because
You'd be
people
surprised how
get,
many people have
Yeah,
babies and like
right, or it's the afternoon and you
Sure,
want to,
sure, okay.
the weekend or whatever,
Yeah.
it makes a lot of noise, so
Yeah, okay, you know the practice stuff.
learning from the past.
Okay,
Yeah.
Inga, go ahead.
I have a question. So I know Tada, where are they based? Are they based in New York City or are they based outside the city?
They're based right here in city. I think off
They-
their programming is right on 31st almost, like 31st and
in our
Fifth
district?
Avenue. Yeah.
Okay. And are you charging these other people like the shed? You're giving all this space away for free?
Yeah. There's no fees for any of
There's
this.
no fees for anything.
Mm-mm.
I'm otherwise fine. It's a community service. I do think it might be a problem to have music, even if it's low, all day long for residents. But that's all I have to say.
Thanks, Inga. Inga, just so you know, Tada is like it's a youth theater. They actually have programs in PS3 and they do stuff with
Yeah, I
kids
know
there.
I know there's one in Katona, but I didn't know where they were in the city. So I want to make sure that what's happening is actually in our district. Because we've had those issues before.
Okay, anyone else with their hands up?
Nope.
No other questions for the applicant? Okay. Let's see, should we vote on that now? Yeah.
Somebody with a raised hand.
That was it.
That was it was Inga. Yeah. Okay, so all in favor of putting forward this application? Oh, sorry.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. You were opening your mouth and then I saw you. Anyone second? Okay, thank you guys. All in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed? Present not eligible? Abstention? Thank you.
All right,
Great.
just to be clear, that was unanimous. There's no one else that, okay.
Yeah. Lisa, thank you very much.
Thank you guys. Thank you for trusting me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll be in touch. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Let's go to. Okay, next, also another application to the Street Activities Permit Office. Humanities Prep Climate Action Day. You guys take it away. Yes,
We do have a PowerPoint as well.
Yeah, give me one.
Great, thank you. In the meantime, my name is Sukendra Dazzle. I'm Street Lab's program manager. We'll explain who Street Lab is in a moment.
My name is Danny DiMarino. I'm the development lead at Street Lab.
That's not what I want. Yep, that is what I want.
Okay, so as you all know, our proposed date for the activation would be May 20th. And would be right on West 18th Street. We go to the next slide.
There's a little delay.
Yes, so a little bit about Street Lab. We are a nonprofit organization that activates public space, primarily parks, plazas, and streets, to transform the street level environment, bring communities together, and ultimately empower others to do the same within their community. So we've been doing this for around 15 years. All across the city, we go to all 5 boroughs to support individuals in transforming their public space. And how do we do this? So the next slide. We do this through public space activation, open street development, and then design and fabrication. Starting with design and fabrication, we create custom gear and programs that we send out on the street. You can see some of them shown here. And with that custom gear, we are able to do public space activation, supporting one-day events that are already going on. Individuals will reach out to us saying, okay, we would love Street Lab gear or programs to come out. We'll send staff for 3 to 4 hours out of the day to support activation. We've also been doing a model to have a more sustainable approach within communities. It's called our open street development, where we consistently support a block association, individual, a community partner in creating an open street. So we'll help them with the application process with DOT. We'll do the community engagement with them, and then we'll also support the consistent activations and help them on the permitting side as well. Slide. Okay, so we have 15 different types of programs that you can see here. This is kind of what our pop-up gear and furniture looks like. We'll have anything from one long big table that breaks down at the end of the day and comes back to our warehouse, to our Legos and magnet tiles, plastic benches that, again, they all comes back to us, but the kids love it, families and communities love it. We've done way over 500 pop-ups at this time, and last year we did over 500, I think, just in a year. And as you can see, that map shows we go really all across the city. Next slide, please. Great, and really what is most important is our community partners. They are the center, and we only go to locations by request from a community partner. So we never really just implement ourselves in a community. It has to be that someone has reached out to us, says they want to partner. And we have over 300 community partners to date. Slide. Great. So this is some of the work that we've done in Chelsea. We partnered with Chelsea Market to do several activations, both inside and outside, to bring a reading room, a homework hub. We've also bought raw materials, all free to the community, so individuals can convene in public space, enjoy public space, and come together. We've also partnered with Avenue School at Clemente Moore Park and Chelsea Park to bring our programming there, Pier 57, and hopefully Humanities Prep as well. And next slide.
Yeah, so that brings us to why we're here today. Street Lab put forward a permit request for May 20th, 2026 to produce a climate action day with a high school located on that block, Humanities Prep. Humanities Prep is located on West 18th Street between 8th and 9th Avenues. And they want to create an event for the school to come together around climate education, sustainability, and really make that a community event as well, so that it's a larger demonstration to the greater neighborhood of youth kind of leading the charge around climate action. The event itself takes place between 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. with the closure from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. to allow for setup and breakdown. Our gear is all pretty quick to come together and break down. So everything that you saw there will show up that morning with a moving cart or moving truck, push it out onto the street, set it up to create little interactive installations, and then break down by the end of the day. If you can go to the next slide, I'll share a little bit about what climate action days are. These are organized by individual New York City public schools, but it's a larger initiative by NYC Public Schools and the Office of Energy and Sustainability. The real goal, again, is to kind of create these community school celebrations around sustainability, and Humanities Prep asked Street Lab to produce the event with us. The reason why they're turning toward this street is because the school actually has no outdoor activity. They have about 270 students who, if they want to hang out, they have to go down the block or go to another space. And so the school was really excited about the opportunity to think about the street sort of as an extension of the school just for a single day and kind of create this opportunity for the students to continue and to also think a little bit more deeply about climate and kind of create a culture that's built around sustainability. That's a real key goal with this school. They do have a green team that's just started of about 15 students. But they want to kind of expand that into the general student body. And so Street Lab and Humanities Prep got a grant to be at New York City Public Schools to do this project. We've been doing workshops with the students over the past few months. Those workshops have centered around explorations and conversations of what public space is, who is it for. We've done walkshops up and down the block, so students were observing the architecture and learning a little bit about zoning and what's on the street. They started creating a stakeholder map of different businesses and people to consider with their street closure. So the ultimate goal is to kind of train these students or have these students start thinking about their role being citizens and civic actors in New York City, and also to have sort of a real demonstration of that to this Climate Action Day to take place on May 12th. The activation itself, which I can share in the next slide, would take place on West 18th Street. Humanities Prep is located in that co-located kind of educational complex alongside 5 other schools. And the idea is that we would bring a few of our pop-up activities, so street chalking. Students are getting excited about using typewriters to create an interactive writing experience, using our Imagine panels and creating community engagement around street visioning. So the idea is we'll have a lot of small scale sort of interactive arts activities and learning activities that students are actually responsible to design, and we'll pop up with those for a few hours. All of our pop-ups are generally like lo-fi, so no music or amplified sound. And we're only planning on using the first portion of that block. So you'll see where the blue stops. We won't actually be activating towards that on that further end. Kendra, anything else to add about?
Yeah, and so we'll actually be putting up barricades to indicate the stop, so that if cars are parked, they wouldn't have to necessarily move. And then we'll also be putting up signage. We typically work with NYPD as well as print out our own no parking signs once the permit is approved, to notify the community 2-3 days in advance that this event is happening. Here's the areas that will be blocked off. And then we also work with the individuals on the block as well. Like, let's say a resident needs to get to their block, right? We're not going to just say no. We've often been able to pull aside the barricade, allow a car to pass if needed. So we are very flexible. We do have enough staff to be able to do that and manage street traffic Again, we've done this several times at different locations that require different needs, so happy to work with the community and notify individuals beforehand as well as the day of what will be going on at the event and modifying as needed. We also will have that 15 feet emergency lane as well. On the right side.
The next slide is just an example of one of these climate action days that we produced earlier this season in March out in Jackson Heights, working with an elementary school. Students wanted to create a space centered on play, and so we brought our pop-up obstacle course. They also wanted just community building opportunities. So we brought our build tables. And it was a lovely day using kind of the outdoor space that students generally are not using. And then most recently last week, on the next slide, we worked with a high school based out in Bushwick, BSSJ, to produce their climate action day. And this similarly was a lovely day where students were able to use the space outside of their school for community building. There's something really special and I think empowering for young people to see that space as something that they can steward or care for or actually use in a more meaningful way. So we are hoping to bring this to Humanities Prep and to Chelsea, and are happy to answer any additional questions about Street Lab or about this project.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming too.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks for having us in
Yes.
this truncated way.
Thank you.
So I have a question. I don't understand the application is for the school, right?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So the school is the applicant to the event?
In a sense, so we partner with the school to do it and we typically support with the permitting process, understanding that sometimes.
Cheers, right there.
Oh, sorry.
Sometimes it can be difficult to put it in. I do the permits for our office and we do partner with DOT, so we're able to support better on that and like SAPO and everything. So it's kind of like a joint application.
But at the end of the day, they have it's their name.
Your name's on.
Yeah, it's under Street Lab, but they are also the applicant.
So then normally the event needs to be done in partnership with someone in the community and or
Yeah.
a local community entity, and so that's what that is, similar to the other street events that have a block association or something like that attached to, or the North.
So we need to make
Precinct
sure
Council.
that you have the school as an applicant.
Yeah, definitely. I can.
And leave them with the knowledge of how to do it again, but.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the work we typically do with individuals interested in doing consistent street closures. We'll initially do the permit process for them, and also based on their time and availability, especially with schools, we've been able to harness a transition period where we start with the permits as they're figuring out all of the other parts of a street event, right? And then we slowly create a template and hand all of that information off to them so they're able to do it on their own. And the school always has us as a contact to reach out and say, hey, I want to do this again. How do I do it? We can easily send over a template. Like, we're very transparent with that information. And the school, we did reach out to them to come. Unfortunately, the teacher that was being working with, they weren't able to attend. However, they did want to be there.
Okay.
So are you generally working with one class at this school, or you said it was open to the community, so I'm just kind of curious because there are a lot of schools on this block, so, and this seems to be like right during lunch hour, so people are passing.
This is a Saturday?
Oh, Saturday.
It's a
This
Saturday.
is the Wednesday.
Oh, it's a winter
It is a school. So we are working with the green team primarily to plan, and they'll be the ones leading the activities during the day. Humanities Prep is working to create a schedule to have students sort of rotate out. That said, it is a public space, and like you know, there are sort of two, I think, co-located two like educational complexes. So those schools will also know about it, and students can pass by and also participate in the learning activities. I think that's, in a way, kind of amplifying the impact of the event too. It's not just focused on Humanities Prep, it's the other schools can also participate and learn as well. Yeah. And we're working with the AP science teacher there to sort of promote locally within the school and alongside like the other schools within the complex.
How large is your organization? Like, how many people are you gonna actually have working there?
So we'll have, we'll have around 3 to 4 staff on the day of, which we find is more than enough. Our staff is very trained in street lab gear to be able to set up. But the great thing about this is that the green team are also supporting in their own activation, right? So they're planning the activities that they want. We're bringing the gear, but then they're going to get that leadership opportunity to be able to kind of staff it for the day, walk through the different aspects of the day and sustainability projects that they've been working on. So there's around 15 green teams and then 4 staff as well, and then also teachers will be coming up. So over 20 individuals being able to run and manage the street. Okay.
Anyone else have any other questions? Anyone from the public? Inger? Inger, you're muted.
Yep, sorry, thank you, sorry. So this is open to the public, is that, so people walking through, they can do this, or is it just for people that register through the school? I'm not quite sure if I understood that.
I would say the primary audience is definitely the students, and the schools will be facilitating sort of the rotation. That said, it is a public space and people will be invited to also learn and participate and sort of experience as well. So I would say.
So families that wander through and see this and want to bring their kids, they can join in. And there's no charge for it, correct?
No.
Okay. Okay, because there are a lot of parents that wander through, and if the street's closed off, people will tend to wander onto the street. So you will get others, and I didn't want them turned away. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's always a conversation with anyone who's interested or seems interested. It's like, what's going on? We're there to be a friendly face to let them know. And we've definitely had it before where it's been a school event, but we have maybe a section where families that are interested or community members can also enjoy or partake in the event. And then we've also had where at some of our school sites, parents will come and see their kid, be able to take a picture, play with them for a little bit, and then also go about their way. So yeah, very open to the community, primarily the interest of the school, but we would never turn anyone away.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Lisa.
Hi, Lisa, can you hear me? Did you have your hand up for this?
Yes, I thought I hope that's okay. I thought it was open. One, I just wanted to say, Street Lab, this is amazing. I'm like so excited I stayed on and I learned about you. I think it's incredible to transform public space and such and make it easeful and accessible for so many different groups. I kind of just had a question of like, is there a cap of how many individuals or organizations that you can support in a certain neighborhood in in that year or in that like time period? Clearly for my own interest, but I was just curious.
Yeah, definitely, Lisa, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
The answer is no. Short answer is no. Depends on our calendar. But the answer is no.
Very cool. Okay, sorry guys. I won't raise my hand. Bye. Thank you.
Just to go a real quick follow-up question for you. The schools, this is like right next to where I live, so I'm really excited. It sounds like a really neat opportunity. There's lots of teachers for both schools that work on that block. Is this going to affect their ability to like get to work that day and be able to park in the neighborhood?
So the answer is yes. We are working with teachers in schools to be able to communicate that message beforehand in advance to teachers, and then we're going to try not to block off the entire street, so maybe we can do something like a delayed parking where the teachers can park behind the barricade, and then we're also always working with the school to be able to make it work, right? The teachers like, I gotta get in, like, we also are familiar with cars still being on the street. We don't have any gear that's damaging to cars, and we work around whatever the situation is. We don't really like to tolerate that because it ruins the relationship with the community. So we'll try and do as much in advance promotion as well as working with whoever's on the street that day.
Thank you.
Maybe loud for the folks on Zoom.
Sorry, someone gave a motion and it was seconded, so we're doing, all to approve. Thank you. Any abstentions? Any against? Present eligible? Right, I think for the record was unanimous. Thank you. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you for the thorough. That is it for at least the agenda items. Okay. Now for the chair report, we have a few things that I just want to report on. We just continued the FEC working group, which is a full LHLC internal CB4 working group, which we did not meet this month, but we will again have a upcoming agenda and meeting. I just wanted to update some things that I've been working on with this is that so Gail Brewer, excuse me, has some NYCHA meetings up in her district. It's quarterly. And she's been doing this for a while, and I attended the last few, only because of her review, but also just to see the greater how she does it. It's not specific to any type of version, though that is in the conversation up there too, not as far along or complex as ours is, but it's a wonderful, wonderful template. Like I've been there a few times, and it's great. They have NYPD come, they have different agencies come, they have NYCHA reps come. And it seems to be a good working model up there. So I reached out to both the tenant president at Fulton and the tenant presidents at Elliott Shelton to see if they want to come with me. Just, one day, one of these meetings, just to say, like, hey, do you want to see how they do it up here? Now I know this meeting is initiated by an elected by Gail Brewer, but maybe one of our electeds from MCB4 or something can mimic them up. I know it's going to be very different if we do because of what's going on here, but they do have very interesting conversations on their conversions as well. So the invitation was sent out to the tenant leaders there, and if they want to come with me for one, just to observe and just to see that it would be welcome. I think they would get a lot out of it. Also through the FEC working group, through Jesse's help as well. Actually, Bradford and Siegel connected us with the mayor's office because we have been trying to get someone, a rep from the mayor's office, about this project. And we know with the new mayor, we want to see we all want to see what his thoughts were. And he's kind of indicated where he was on this project, that the way it's set up now, he wants to see it move forward. We don't know details.
Oh, folks, just you sound like you're underwater from the room. It's gotten much worse in the past 5 minutes. It can't barely be understood.
I think Jesse's working on it. I didn't know this. If I speak louder, does that help, or is it still muddled?
It's every other syllable kind of thing, like that.
Can you give us 1 second, Joe? I think Jesse's trying to work the app. I can't say.
It's going to be a very humorous YouTube recording, trust me.
I know you can't see, but Jesse's working the big screen.
No, you guys hear us now?
How do we sound? Do we still sound stuttered? Yes. Did it just start? How is the rest of it? Did it just start?
It was in and out the whole meeting. I've been texting Jesse.
Thank you. Yeah.
When we restarted.
And we can hear that.
It's like a really bad cell phone.
So did we approve the whole one or half of it?
Well, let's hold on.
Is that your attention?
It's
Humor,
an
with
intent, you know,
I got it.
it's going on the floor.
No.
All right, I'm gonna restart the owls, and so you're gonna lose us for a little bit, okay, everybody online.
Joe, you're on mute.
You sound good all of a sudden.
Wait, let me do a test. But can you hear us now, okay? Because we can continue.
Perfectly now, perfectly, yes.
Jesse, you did it. You did it. That's good job, Jesse.
Let's hear it for Jesse. Now,
Yeah, right? That's the thing.
As soon as
You
he said,
haven't
I'm going to
earned it.
observe, the assistant said, okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a.
I will just, I'll just summarize my first point from the chair report, for you guys online. I'm just talking about how Gail Brewer has, a quarterly NYCHA meeting, up in her district that I have attended the last few meetings, mainly because of Harborview. And I just reached out to the Bolton Association, leaders from Bolton and from, Elliott Chelsea to see if they wanted to come with me, just to see the model and see how it works. Anyway, that invitation was extended. The next thing I was saying is also from the FEC working group, the last time we talked about it, we wanted to see what the mayor's office, how they were going to engage on this project, what their thoughts were on this project. It's, you know, we kind of weren't sure, but though we do have some indication of what the mayor thinks about this project, not directly communicated to us, but just generally. So we are setting up a meeting with the Deputy Mayor for Housing and Planning, Reed Jordan. So we are going to do that, a few of us next week. Jesse, I think it is. We're planning for next week.
No, it's this week.
Is it this week?
This week, Wednesday.
Is it this,
Yeah.
my weeks are blending together. Yeah, okay, so it's this week. So we are gonna meet with the mayor's office this week, or a rep from the mayor's office, just to get like an overview understanding of kind of what they're thinking. We will report back. And hopefully we can get a continuing conversation on this with them as well.
When you say we, who is?
Yeah.
It's gonna be myself, Greg, and Jesse. For that. So that's what it's gonna be at first. They wanted only one-on-one. They wanted one person, and then we said we should widen it a little bit. So it'll be the three of us just to see where they're at, and then we can report back, and hopefully, fingers crossed, maybe they'll give us a rep that will be some sort of continuous conversation. I think that is what we'll ask for, and see how they want to be engaged with CB4 in general. And we will hopefully promote that to them and say that that's our wishes to do that as well. Let's see, that is it with as far as FEC. The district manager position is officially posted. So, the start date, I know, the official start date we have is August. But hopefully they'll come on board a little earlier, just to kind of, we can on-ramp them in, right? So it is posted, we are getting applications, we do have a hiring group, and we are going to talk probably next week. We'll have an email with that, and we can see our next steps. And Nellie and Janine in the office will kind of give us a little bit of a summary of the applications that are coming in, and we can start going through that, and we can report back on that as well. Okay, that's with that. Any questions so far? No, you sure? Anything? Okay. Third thing, this is Jesse's favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is. We are going to we are trying to form right now, a public safety / small business committee. I know Christine is very happy. We have not had, that's not what it's going to be called. It's not going to be called Public Safety Small Business Committee, but we are looking for a committee that can have small businesses, NYPD, like an ICE letter we had that didn't live anywhere, something like that. That would go under the jurisdiction of this committee. we are very lucky that Dolores Rubin and Tina Nelson have accepted to be the chairs of this committee, should it go through. The reason why I'm saying this in exec now is because we will talk about it at length at next exec. And in the hope of transparency, that you guys can just come with your questions, ideas, look into there are other CBs that do have this type of committee. So if you want to look at some of their YouTube channel and meetings that are recorded, we want to see what that looks like. We want to see what that would entail. So all of your input will be welcome, and we can talk about it more in depth next month. But I want to just put it on the table for this month so you guys are aware, and you can come with your thoughts and maybe your ideas of what that looks like. And hopefully Dolores and Tina will join in and kind of will take all of that input, soak it in. I also want to announce that Katie Stokes has accepted the co-chair of CLU. Greg has been really handling this. It's been a one-man show for a while, and he said, please give me some help. We need some help. You're welcome. So I talked with Greg, who he thought, and Jesse, who he thought would be best at CLU, to lead that up, and we extended it to Katie. And we know Katie wanted more of a leadership position anyway, so it would be a nice fit. And I think you two are gonna kind of connect and see. That's gonna take effect next month. So you're welcome. I know you've been asking for a while. I know. It's been a long time.
Ready to go on something else?
Yes, now we're, technically I'm supposed to be.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I'm poking around other committees.
Not technically.
Not technically. Yeah.
I don't think my reappearance.
Another committee, maybe, yeah. And my last thing is that the Port Authority Bus Terminal Working Group has new members. I know Katie is not re-upping, but so far she's kind of going in on those for WPE as well with Morty's and Xylem, so thank you for joining. And Brian Weber is also a new member of the Port Authority Working Group representing CB4 as well. So I just wanted to make those announcements. So we're getting some new blood and new people in a lot of these conversations, which is good, at least officially. But I know Katie's only there for a short time. Actually, I lied. I do have one more thing. The Manhattan Borough President. So this year with applications, they are using an outside group. They're using not only an outside group, but they have a group of about 50 different people and organizations that are citywide to kind of look at all the applications. And this was brought up at Borough Board this past month. And there was a lot of questions from a lot of the CBs around Manhattan. I think there were some concerns that it would be a little too professional or a little too maybe, I don't want to say policy specific or policy centric, because a lot of these organizations have, are policy, different type of organizations. And I know that concern was brought up. So we expressed that to the borough president and his office that, we would hope it would stay a community board and it would be more, grassroots or boots on the ground people that would be involved. And they assured us they're just going to try this. They're going to see how it goes this round, the first time the borough president is doing this. So that's why that they might be a little delayed. Usually we get it right. We get it by now, maybe May, around there. So we're maybe looking at, it has. So we're maybe looking at June for onboarding. So we're pushing it off a little bit, but I just wanted to tell you that, there was no other reason why new members weren't coming up.
What's the example of groups that are involved?
I think like Ernest and Young, I know was one of the.
No, but I mean the other groups.
Yeah, I can get you a list. It was a long list and it flashed on. I can get you a list. I think it was like different children's organizations or transportation organizations. I'm just. It was a lot of groups. It was a lot of groups.
Evaluating the resumes?
Yes. Yeah.
Why are policy groups involved in community boards?
Hold on, 1 second. I don't think all of the groups are evaluating every resume. I think they have representatives that kind of filter them through. And I think the borough president says in the interest of just being even-handed. And so I think that was his objective. I'm sure he could speak much better to this than I can. I'm just reporting back from what they.
Sounds like he's advocating their responsibility to do the actual vetting.
I think it's concerning because as you know, we have been accused of being members of organization, etc. So now if the members are vetted by those organizations, this is going really one or two steps
Yeah,
too far.
so I
I
think,
would say, because the e-bike organization are going to say, as they have said in the past, that people are really controlled by some groups. And which we know it was not the case, but now it will be the case.
so they did assure us that they're getting the applications with no names on them, like they're anonymous.
Still.
So, yeah, no, I'm just saying what was reported.
So I think it clashes with, our experience of.
That was brought up
Yeah.
from, not just other community
Yeah,
boards,
yeah.
had the exact, every community board pretty much.
I think
had the
it's
same.
very concerning.
What was the response? Said it was broad, we're doing it anyway?
Yes,
They can't stop now.
yeah, right.
I think they said they were doing it.
Well, they can stop now or modify it if we talk about it, right?
Hold on, Marty had a question, 1 second. Their response was they wanted to do it just to be fair. Cause I think Brad said, well, you don't just want me doing it and choosing it. And we said, yes, we want your office to kind of.
That's why we elected him.
That's what we elected you.
I mean, I think they were doing it to be more even, I think the objective was pure. I mean, that's what.
It sounds really wonky, policy wonky, and nothing to do with how you build a community board with various types of people. It's a balance. It's not an objective third-party review of your qualifications. People have weird qualifications, good and bad and sideways.
I see his hand raised. Was there a presentation? Like it was in
Yes.
a deck?
Yes,
So
we can
let's
share.
get the
We have,
deck.
as I said, we'll share it. It
We'll
was
share the
up.
deck.
Oh, okay.
We'll share
And
the
it's
deck,
it
and I think that really will
Let's
help.
share it and then
Help you
then we
guys.
can have a discussion about.
You guys
it.
want
Yes.
to comment on it,
Right.
and you guys can.
I think that's it,
It's
yeah.
very
It's also
concerning.
on YouTube, you wanna watch it.
Yeah, I think you were in
That's
the
true, borough
meeting.
services, borough service. I mean, borough board is on YouTube.
Okay.
And that's when I took the screenshot of you of the timeline, so you would know
Yeah,
the timeline. And I sent it to Jesse, because they also put the timeline, the adjusted timeline. For new
I mean, I'll give a little context here. I don't know about this specific way they're doing it, and they've been different groups, but Scott Stringer, if
That's
you
what they said.
remember, Scott Stringer had a similar process when he was borough president. He didn't outsource it to different policy groups or nonprofits or anything like that. He just used a vetting program that was outside of his office to sort of vet the applicants on a flat and even basis. So I would say, I think that has to be implemented into that, whatever the current borough president is doing, similar kind of equal footing. It's not as though one organization has anything over another organization, but it's not completely precedent setting.
But, this, when they gave the presentation, just so you know, what I said as representative MCB4, exactly what you said, we just want to know if this is more grassroots, like, you were saying, more community-based, can we see, but I can share the deck, well, I will share the deck. I'll share the deck to everyone and I'll forward that for sure, and then you guys can, if we have a further comment, we could, but yeah, I mean, they were very open to our, and responsive to the people, to comments.
Well, as Katie said, I mean, we're a month out, so they're making decisions the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
For June's, seeing people in the middle of May for June's month starts.
How many open seats do we have?
I believe we have 8.
8?
Yeah.
Wow,
We have, it's a lot,
it's a lot.
it's a lot for us.
Yes.
Yes, I mean, we've had.
Last year was pretty.
Over the range, 8 is not, it's on the high end, but it's not,
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's not great.
But for the people who are reapplying, their applications are also going through this process, the same process.
Yeah,
Really more than 8 seats then, isn't it? Or are you including that?
What?
8.
No,
open
she's
meetings.
okay, but they open or
I understand.
No, but
if
she's right.
People who are reapplying are also
Right.
going through this process, then technically.
Yes.
Yes.
I think so, it's happening.
they're going to fire us.
Well, he did say that, he wanted the re-applicants to be judged as, not as new applicants entirely, obviously, the experience here would count, but, he's trying to, I think he's trying to make it a fair process, that's his objective.
I'm unclear on what you just said.
So with the,
Meaning, so when you,
so if I had reapplied, would it go through the same process?
Yes.
Okay.
correct.
We're all basically new applicants if we reapply. That's what you're saying.
But that's always,
Yeah,
that's
that's
always been the case. That's always.
Yeah, but not really if you have a third party who nobody elected to do anything. And to look at those reapplications. The borough president should know the applicants, the current members that are here, and make a determination upon how much they participate or give, not about some third party idea of balancing every single idea across the board. It just sounds very bureaucratic.
It's very top down. I mean, he wants to select a bunch of people which have all have adopted the policies of the mayor and of the VP, then, it's going to get very homogeneous kind of,
Correct.
Yeah. Joe, your points were brought up by another CB chair, those exact wordings, but yeah. It was expressed.
okay.
That's the end of the chair report. I didn't mean to leave off on a doozy. Yes.
All right,
Yes.
so there is on the desks here, on the tables here, draft full board agenda for next week. And then draft committee schedules for May. Always remember this is the snapshot, so obviously things can change. But please take a look at what we got. It's also in the Dropbox. But please take a look, couple things. For full board agenda, there's one small correction. The clue letter is listed, though I think we're gonna make a change to that. We're not going we'll table that letter because I know Triple HS wants to talk about this building. 273 was 22nd Street. It needs to be changed to, and it's corrected, but I'm gonna get that agenda anyway. And then, for the May committee schedule, everybody's meeting on their regular dates and times, except for the exec committee, which is this committee. It's gonna be on Tuesday instead of Monday because of Memorial Day.
Oh, Memorial Day, wow.
Yeah.
We're there, aren't we?
Right there. And so that is about it. Obviously, we are still working out the kinks with our IT. We hope to have that. We're waiting on some stuff on order with the IT person to come in and finalize all of this, so we don't have this, hopefully not this issue anymore, or these types of issues anymore. But good news is we've got Wi-Fi, guest Wi-Fi. All the computers are networked. These tables will be networked. The screen behind me is networked, and our phones are up. So
Wow.
Hey, just because we don't have many more chances, let's give it up for Jesse. one more.
Right.
I had a whole meeting, so there's more things.
Yeah, right. Great, thank you, guys. Let's go to old and new business. If anyone has old and new business here at the table, and if not, then we can go to public. Christine.
Yeah, we, last month we sent a letter to the Port Authority and a lot of people about the noise. The noise, I was stopped today in the street, one of the building manager saying it's horrible, what are we doing about it, etc. So I think we were trying to get a meeting with the elected. We're still trying to do that.
No, we have a tentative date, so
Okay.
yeah, you should have it on your calendars, but
All right.
This month is very
Yes.
difficult for state electeds because they've got
The
a
election,
session. So Friday is really the day for them,
Right.
and so if we want principals at that meeting, it's gonna be Friday, and it looks gonna be like Friday May 22nd.
okay, so that's very important because the impression we have, and Joe, you can confirm, is that, PA is trying to get their schedule going. And they don't want to change anything, and they don't want to change the Lincoln Tunnel closure, they don't want to change anything. And so we need to elevate the problem, saying, you've got to change something, because we can't go 7 years like that. There will be 7 years of that type of work, going. So we want to elevate that, we want to have Nadler and other people say, it's not okay. Get a meeting with Catherine Garcia and talk about it, right? So that's a big deal. And another thing, totally different issue. I think a few meetings ago, we had talked about sending a letter about the slaughterhouse. And I wonder if we have done that or we should, slaughterhouse is a development that was approved and finalized essentially as part of the last rezoning of the Hudson Yard, which was going to generate, Joe, 350, 330?
Yeah,
Yeah, 330, 100% affordable. Okay.
permanently
so-
affordable.
Yeah, big deal, right? And then it was driven by EDC and then it went kind of away. Then we had a meeting like 3 or 6 months ago.
Yeah, it's
Right.
last year.
Where they told us, the developer told us that it was, they finally have all the contract, the approvals, etc. And so now it's an issue of getting probably a little more funding. And
It's the
considering-
financing, it's not working, Christine.
Right, the financing is not working, so I think it's elevating that problem to the mayor, and when you meet with the housing, that may be another thing to put on the table, saying, look, there is one big win that could be right there, and you could give it some money, I don't know how much they need, but this is something that Mandani could say, okay, I did that, right? We know he didn't, but I did that. So I think we need to resurrect this project. And I am intense about it because I was done when I was,
Chair.
I was the chair with Joe, and we pushed and we pulled and we've got it. And it's now they have all the approval. And it's a matter of really elevating that and making everybody aware that there is this project and they could. And I'm saying that especially because I read in West 42nd Street, that the mayor is not very excited about the Western Rail Yard. And he said, it's not in my priorities. So I don't know where I read that, but
I think the Times.
That was in the
Yeah.
Times.
It's in our newsletter, but it wasn't.
was, so,
West 42nd Street,
Right.
the Times.
so, if the mayor is not excited by the Western Rail Yard, we should really lock in those 330 permanent apartments.
That site was affordable in exchange for making the park on 20th Street.
Yep, Marty.
Yes.
It was something that was
And
promised when that park was made a park,
Yes.
which is, I don't know how long ago that is.
That
5
was
years?
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Right, and that was combined with a commitment they had made in the zoning for another chunk of.
Site M on West 41st and 10th.
And so it was combined into this development, which is on Slaughterhouse. And I really think we need to push it. I think it's sitting there.
That's the Chelsea,
Yeah,
Chelsea Green.
It's a timely mention because the borough president will be at that very park this Friday morning
right.
to meet with local residents
Oh.
over coffee. So
Please mention
if
it.
any exec members
Right.
need some caffeine and want to chew his ear about particular issues,
Well,
they
you
start
should do
today.
that.
I plan on being there
You're
anyway.
delegated. No, but I mean, I think it's so frustrating that this thing it's ready. The design is complete, everything, the permits are complete.
And there's
it's
no
just a-
controversy around it.
And there is no controversy, and it's a win-win for the new mayor. I mean, say, look, this is what we want to do. You had a question?
It's money.
The developer.
So Joe, who was the developer? It's a team of
It's a
people.
consortium of 2 different developers, and remember, it's a hotel/residential project.
Yes. This is like.
So we will get a meeting.
Please.
Yeah, with who?
Jesse,
What?
can you go back to the Port Authority meeting? You said it'd be when?
Instead of Friday,
Hold on one second.
Friday.
Answer Greg's question, we're gonna get a meeting with EDC and the developer. And EDC problem right now. is-
And you should mention
Mention it in there, yeah.
in that meeting, saying, hey, we are
FYI.
FYI, EDC is not moving and we don't understand, and you have like a ready to move kind of project.
And that's probably, as Greg's mentioned, that the EDC does not have a
Ahead.
leader right now.
Ahead at all, right?
Right,
So,
but this is a project. like this.
no, but I'm just trying to say, everybody's gonna sit around and wait around.
Yeah,
You need somebody in charge to move it, Christine.
They were waiting around before
To,
that.
to answer your question, Joe, tentatively, we are meeting with elected principals on the Port Authority overnight noise construction issues on May 22nd.
Okay.
So that's the Memorial Day weekend, guys. How about that? They're gonna be here? They're all gonna be here?
That's what they promised me.
When
Okay.
they look at the calendar, say, oh, it's empty.
No, cancel.
It's wrong, right?
No, wait,
Better remind them it's that. They might find a way out at that meeting.
well, they might expect us to be the way out and be like, oh, wait, we're all not gonna be here because we're all gonna be trying to go away. But, if we're okay with being here for that, then I bet you we can make them stay, because they said they would do it.
That's okay, that's good. These are my two small.
Too small. Yeah, sure, of course.
So,
We just have, yeah, we just.
yeah, just how it's happening like now, we're scheduling it. In March, we sent a letter about the Western Valley Arts, bond funding issue, and the IBO office has responded to us and asked for a follow-up meeting. So we're trying to arrange a meeting for Use and Joe and leadership to meet with IBO and talk about the bonding issue. You had just mentioned the mayor was not as hot on that, but IBO is looking at it in the background. So we will be doing that in the next few weeks.
Is there a specific point of contact that's IBO that you work with?
The guy.
Yeah,
That's the
I can look
request.
Who's the guy?
The guy.
The guy.
His name is
Mr. Guy.
Relationships at IBO.
Oh, okay.
His name is Kane. Brian
King, CAI.
is the Assistant Director of Housing, Environment and Infrastructure. But
And actually responded to our
yeah,
letter.
responded to our board letter
Yeah.
on the issue and is following
That's
up
good.
and reached out to us to follow up on that. So, yeah.
We probably have another good piece of information, right, about our BSA application.
Oh, celebrations are in order.
Oh,
The BSA application from Musica, the
Oh.
adult establishment
right.
has been withdrawn.
Hey.
So congratulations to the board for voicing opinions strongly on, outside of the 500-foot rule should not be adhered. So they've withdrawn their application.
Great.
Yeah, I
That's
forgot about
like
that just.
from time to time.
That's
Yeah,
a
really.
accomplishment, and it's like, feel good about the work that we do.
Yeah. I forgot something in my report. It's all right.
No.
So one of the things that I just went, last week was the Borough Service Cabinet meeting, which is when all the district managers meet with the borough president, and we had an actually in-person meeting, which we don't do anymore since COVID, which was sort of nice. And we went down there and spent some time with Brad, and spent some time with us. And he didn't really, I will say beyond, he never showed us the deck that he showed the borough board, but he did, really did express his desire to try to make it, this process, the board appointment process is transparent and honest and equal as possible, and also effective. I mean, fast. But besides that, one of the things I think we talked about, he mentioned that I don't think is going to happen like tomorrow, but he's clearly looking to do this, is that he recognizes one of community board's struggles are getting planning advice, getting, outside planning advice. And so we, as this board, I don't think is one of the ones that struggle as much, but he is looking to what?
So thank you, Maya.
Yeah, exactly. But he is looking to hire 2 planners specifically kind of for those roles, to be outside of the normal
Like
planning. So,
consultants.
yeah, consultants. And so obviously we raise as DMs the issue of independence, right? It's still a paycheck coming from the borough president, and so he has a role in many of these land use applications, and so we understand that it's not a completely independent thing that, I raised that, another borough district manager raised that, he acknowledged that, so it wasn't as though he was, ignorant of that issue, but I do think that's interesting because I will say, one of the issues that when I first started here, there was a very strong feeling that we always should have a planner on staff. And the issue was, I quickly realized that there's just not always enough work to keep an actual planner on staff. But this is the planner we did have, Erica, she was great. I think she became literally the head planner of Newark, by the way. She left because she's like, I'm a planner, this is not enough work, And so I did voice that issue, but I do think if you've got 2 planners working for all 12 boards, I will say, transportation planning has planning ideas. Other committees can use these people in their own way. It doesn't always have to be, when we have a rezoning or when we have a big land use application, but if we have an idea about something that requires a sort of
Well, you
planning
can
perspective.
Proactive too.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, if there's streets that need to be looked at, if there's, arts and culture stuff or, something around that. How do we, that has a planning component to it, that has an urban planning component, think about that stuff, because that could become something we could give them, in between those big rezonings that everybody's thinking they're gonna always have, which they don't. So it might be something as an idea, and we can get some really great product out of it. And because it won't be part of a ULIRP, we won't have to struggle with that independence kind of perspective, right? Where they're not saying, oh, Brad's gonna have to, the only thing that's gonna come out of that will be what Brad agrees to anyway. So I think it's an interesting concept. And the nice thing too is if he puts into place, lots of times his successors will continue to get that thing. So I just like to throw that out there.
And also, going to Borough Board, it's very interesting because we are a very, very, very lucky board when it comes to land use. Other boards hire land use experts all the time to go through their projects. It's expensive and we have land use experts, so it's foreign to us, but they always say, oh, we hired this guy, we hired this guy, doing this, and I don't think ever since I've been on the board, we never had to hire a land use.
No, we never hired
Right,
anybody.
so
We've had
we're very
plenty of-
fortunate in
yeah.
that respect, with that knowledge of land use.
Did they talk about the budget and the budget of the office? Should we bring that at the borough board? In the budget, expanding the budget of the
Of a
office, so the
specific
people.
office or the borough?
No. At the borough board, discuss the budget for the offices so that people can be well paid, can have promotion, etc. Right now, the budget is so tight.
Well, in reference to like my situation, you're talking about because we're having to delay our hire till the new fiscal year.
That too, but generally speaking, I think we have had that problem constantly of having the office very tight.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about it. I know Kevin is a big advocate for the board to get more money, so we can certainly talk about it. I think I don't think anybody will ever say, no, don't give us any more money. I think it's, but let's have a conversation, because there's a difference between salaries and then other than personal services and stuff, expenses. And I will say that, other than personal expenses, has not changed for a very long time. And we are, we do not have a big surplus at the end. Fortunately, sometimes we do, and we use it very well. And Nellie's like a mastermind at what we can use it for, and try to really use it up, so we're not giving anything back into the coffers. And so, but I will say, salary is a whole different section, so.
Anyone else on old new business? Marty?
I don't know how many of you went to the No Kings March, which was almost a month ago. We complain a lot and raise protest. This is a positive statement that I want to make. I was walking down 7th Avenue, on that day, and every side street was blocked by heavy equipment. It was the wellest protected demonstration that I've seen the police department put on in a long time, and I just felt I wanted to share that with you. I don't know how many of you were there and noticed it, but it was a stunning display of protecting the people that were on that walk.
Would you like to be on the new public safety committee and write a letter? Yeah, I was there.
Rachel.
Wait, I think there's more in the room.
The vice president of the CCBA Council of Chelsea Block Associations reached out to Joe and I suggested they come here and mention what their concern is. I don't know if they're on. If not, I would briefly mention.
Why don't we go to Rachel first?
Robert.
Robert's on. Yeah.
Well, hold on, let's do board
so,
first and then.
Okay, they are.
Rachel, go ahead.
Thank you, Leslie. Just piggybacking off of some of the conversation I heard about, Leslie, thanks for the update on the NYCHA meetings and also Christine's question about the budget. Just wanted to remind everybody, just wearing my second vice chair hat for a second, that as part of our budget response process, there were some city agencies that did request follow-up. There were certain items like Department of Education, Aces, Josephine, as you might recall from the budget task force meeting. So to the extent that any of the co-chairs want to have follow-up meetings with the new agencies under the new administration, I'm happy to help arrange it. I know for housing, Joe Maria, I suggested a meeting with HPD, for example. So I'm here, happy to arrange that. That falls very well under my ambit as second vice chair. So please let me know if anyone wants those kinds of initial bridging kind of conversations that might help guide us through the budget process as we go forward. Thank you.
And I'll send Rachel and the group, I'll send around again the responses, because I don't know, we did it initially, but we made a clearer version, I think, for the budget task force that I can send around to all of you, so you can really see some of them. Some of them you'll be, I think, surprised with, and some of them you'll not.
Yeah, and I have a color-coded version, Jesse, too. So if I can expedite that process a little bit, happy to help.
I'd like to see the color coded version.
The one that I had shared on the screen with like the bright pink for, like come, speak to us for more information or whatever. So happy to share that as well.
Anyone? Thank you, Rachel. Anyone from the public?
Yep, I think Robert's here. Robert, do you want to speak? I'm happy to bring you over. Just there we go. There.
He's coming. Hi, Robert. Can you hear us? If you can, you're muted. Oh, there you are.
All right.
Hey, Robert.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Robert Dobreska. I'm the vice president of the Council of Chelsea Block Associations. And I know our president, Susan Marshall, reached out. And we just wanted to bring to your attention that we've been meeting with our member block associations. And what we're hearing constantly is that there are issues with homeless encampments. And people are a bit in the dark about how to report this, which agencies to deal with. And one of the things we've experienced is our area, part of it is in precinct 10, part of it is in precinct 13. And we're hearing slightly different stories from the precincts about how to report and deal with issues. We're also hearing different stories about the various providers who are available to assist in dealing with the homeless. And we just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of this. It would be great if there was some sort of common resource so that we could have a one-pager to hand out to people with consistent and correct information.
Robert, it's interesting. We this is Jesse. I don't know if you can't really see me because my back is to.
I can hear you clearly though.
Great, fantastic. We just for a very long time we would send out what we call a toolkit, a homeless support toolkit, along with the monthly report from Breaking Ground, which is the majority of this geographical space is covered by Breaking Ground in our district. But we do have a dividing line on 23rd Street, which is, for you guys, I know is a little frustrating because Breaking Ground covers everything from 23rd to 59th for us. And then from 23rd to 14th is Goddard. And so that's an entirely different outreach program. It all falls under, it all responds to any 311 call, just to be clear. You don't have to, it's not like you have to go to a different group. But we send out this toolkit every month. We used to send it out every month with their reports to show you where they would be, where their hotspots are, where their encampment cleanups were, how many people they actually housed every month. And that sort of fell off the tracks for a little while. We just started putting that back on. That went out just, I think, last week for the first time, but I can double check because Janine is the one that does it. But nonetheless, I can make sure you guys get that information, and I can certainly make sure that CCBA can meet with the actual outreach providers. So it's still, you still should be calling 311 for anything like that, but at least then you know how they do their job, where they're doing it, where they're focusing. And I will say there's just I think a staffing and difference between what breaking ground can do and cover compared to what Goddard can do under below 23rd Street. And so I think that's something to acknowledge and maybe recognizing you might need some advocacy around at some point. But it's happy to help and connect and make sure you guys have something. And if we need to create something more updated and new in terms of a one-pager, happy to do that as well.
The thing I should add though is that I briefly spoke with Susan, the president of CCBA, and I also spoke to Josephine, who lives in the community, and it just sounds like it's been ongoing for a long time, significant issues with encampments, substance abuse issues, and even criminal activity. And it sounds like they have really tried to address it with city agencies. And it sounds like really that they're getting the runaround. So, and not getting that, I'm using that word, that's not the word that was used by Susan or Josephine, but that's the sense that I get, and trying to address it and not getting clear information for what to do. It sounded like you wanted to say something, Josephine. I saw your face.
Well, I will say that, and you know, this has been going on for several months now, but within the last very few weeks, we've been in contact with our state senator's Boxer's office, along with State Assembly's office and Kruger's office as well. And they came recently, along with Leslie, and did a walkthrough. And since then, they're creating a little hub to deal with this issue in particular. So they're working on it. Okay. Right. So there is response right now.
What, out of curiosity, just curious, when is the first meeting for that?
Well, I don't know when the first they came to meet with our block association last week.
It's not like a public.
No, it's not. I don't think it's going to be.
No, my question wasn't if it's public. My question is just when's the first for you all for this hub?
Well, I don't know when the first meeting is, but they have come to our block association meeting last week to deal with these particular items, and we're making calls to the businesses and trying to get better lighting and closing down the streets and working with the 10th precinct and 13th. So it's happening. I guess is what I'm saying. Okay, so all I can say is in this particular area, there may be some other area in Chelsea that I don't know about, but basically for anyone who doesn't know, there's a crew of people who have been going around, and it's not just homelessness, it's selling drugs, using drugs. And it's become like there's like a drug market basically that is just moving around.
It's right by 22nd around the side from Trader Joe's, and it's exacerbated because the Burlington.
Yes.
Is empty.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, it's not.
It sounds like getting a council member is going to make a difference here, because that's where the coordination has to happen, right?
Exactly, right. Since we don't have a council person, that's exactly what happened, right? Things kind of fell through the cracks.
Nicole was good at.
But Nicole's
bringing people together.
Right, so she's on it right now.
Yeah.
There was also an official kind of wait and see within new administration on how they were handling encampments. So there was a delay.
And they're not doing sweeps.
Yeah, they've changed a lot of their what they would normally be doing and how they're doing it. I still think they're figuring it out, honestly. I mean, they just hired someone from the mass engagement office for Manhattan. That person doesn't have a staff. So, it wasn't clear like who's the lead on it, what agency takes the lead on those types of things, those multi-agency encampment cleanups or anything like that. And so I do think things should be getting more, figured out and better as it goes along. But I do think with these, if we're talking about certain hot spots, you're going to need probably an elected official. I mean, we can play that role too, but I just think it helps to have an elected official.
There's also definitely an issue with the 311 reporting system. 100%. I think they're using AI to look at the images that you upload of an encampment to determine whether or not it's there.
Right.
Because myself and another neighbor have been reporting encampments on 50th between 11th and 12th. And there are individuals there, and we send the photos, and within an hour and a half, it says NYPD went by and it wasn't there. There's no way in hell a cop drove by in an hour and a half to look at that spot. And considering I've stood at crime scenes waiting 45 minutes for the cops to show up. So there's no way a cop car went by and looked at that, and they close it out every time. So there's something in the system is.
No, there's something in and what they never go.
So can we, on that note, Robert indicated that the precincts had two different points of view, I think.
Yeah, and I just want to point out, we've heard different things from the precincts. Sometimes they say we should call 311. Other times they say we should call 911. And it would be good to have a better sense of the dividing line between 311 and 911.
Why don't we try to set a meeting up with whatever new council member arrives after tomorrow to coordinate this? Because I think you need a little bit of more coordination. Otherwise, it's going to just bumble along, you know?
Yeah, no, we can work on this too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Robert, like I said, I'm
She's been in
happy
the thick of it on her blog.
I'm happy to connect too, and you know, in the meantime, I mean, we can still get that clarity from the precincts, but let's connect offline and try to work on something together.
Right, I'm very encouraged by everything I've heard tonight, so thank you all.
And Robert, I'd just like to add, accurate reporting within 311 has been instrumental in resolving the problem with an encampment on our block that transited from the 300 block of 18th Street to the 200 block of 18th Street. And when it was just about the encampment, we got no response. We had probably 50 311 complaints that were closed. However, when that encampment was impeding parking, and when it was impeding parking or some other stuff was in the street, and it was reported as a trash in the street issue, it was resolved within 3 days.
Well, that's really interesting.
That's
No, well, then that means there's unequal treatment, because the same thing has been happening on 50th Street. And I talked to our DSNY supervisor at, for Hell's Kitchen, and he said, this cannot be put in as a litter complaint. There are individuals here. So then.
Yeah. No, this is like that.
All right. We'll look into it, Robert, for sure.
Right, thank you very much.
Continue, I should say continue to look into
In
it.
a doubt, call 911.
Yeah, call 911. I know that.
If you doubt anything,
Yeah.
just. It should be.
Leslie, this is something the public safety committee would be responsive to. so.
Glad you said that.
Glad you said that.
But yes. Anyone else?
No.
Hands on one? No?
Not saying anything.
Okay, anyone else in the room? No?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Great. Thank you, guys.
Great.
Something about a city council race tomorrow.